English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey everyone. Welcome back to the English Leap Podcast, the place where you learn English through real, everyday conversations that help you improve your English and your life. I'm Erin.
And I'm Evan. Before we begin, don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. It really helps more learners find us and helps this little community grow.
And it means you won't miss any new English podcast episodes that inspire you every week.
And honestly, speaking of missing, we read your comments on the last episode.
Oh yes. So many of you said you liked Kate and Ben, but that you missed us. Aw, that honestly meant a lot.
It really did. We started this podcast to make English learning feel personal, like talking with friends who understand you. And knowing you missed us, that means so much.
Aw, that's so sweet. And we just want you to know, this podcast has become a little family. Every voice you hear here, whether it's Kate and Ben or us, is part of that same family.
Yes, we're all part of one big English Leap family. Different voices, same mission, to help you learn English naturally while improving your mindset and life.
And speaking of mindset...
Yeah, today's episode is something special. It's one of those topics that really makes you stop and think for a moment.
The kind that stays in your mind long after the episode ends. And maybe even changes the way you see things around you.
Exactly. It's simple, but powerful.
Today, we're talking about rich mindset versus poor mindset.
Yeah, but don't worry. We're not talking about money here. It's something much deeper. Something that touches the way we think, learn, and live every day.
So, stay with us. Because once you understand this difference, it might completely change how you look at your goals and your growth.
We won't say too much yet, but trust me, this one will make you think.
And before we dive in, a quick reminder. You can download today's free PDF guide from the link below. It includes the full transcript, vocabulary list, and practice exercises to help you review after listening.
And don't forget to stay till the end for Crystal's vocabulary breakdown, where she explains the keywords and phrases from today's episode in a simple, fun way.
All right, let's dive in.
You're listening to the English Leap Podcast. Stay tuned. You know, Erin, whenever we talk about a rich mindset, I always think it begins with one thing. The way we react when life gets uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's so true. Because growth never happens when everything feels easy. It's like the moment you start to stretch yourself, life tests you a little.
That's true. People with a rich mindset understand that discomfort is part of the process, not a sign to quit.
It reminds me of when I first started teaching English online. The first few lessons were terrible. I stumbled, my internet dropped, I forgot words. But I told myself, if I want to grow, I have to keep showing up.
That's the key. Showing up even when it's uncomfortable. A poor mindset runs from that feeling. A rich mindset leans into it.
You know what it's like? It's like going to the gym for your mind. Growth hurts a little, but that pain means you're building something stronger.
Exactly. And that connects perfectly to something else. The way people see learning.
Oh, yes. The poor mindset thinks learning ends after school. But the rich mindset never stops learning. They're always curious, always improving.
Yeah. They focus more on skills than titles. I knew someone once. 2 friends started at the same company. One always chased higher pay. The other took time to learn how the whole business worked.
Let me guess. The second one ended up growing faster?
Way faster. Because he wasn't working just to earn. He was working to learn. The first friend kept changing jobs for money, but never really grew in skill.
That's such a powerful difference. The rich mindset asks, "What can I learn here?" The poor mindset asks, "How much will they pay me?"
It's like building a tool instead of collecting coins. One will serve you for life. The other disappears fast.
That reminds me of when I was younger. I used to think money was the main goal. But then I realized the more I focused on improving my skills, the money started finding me.
Yes, that's the secret people often miss. Growth first, reward later. And speaking of rewards,
You mean how people spend them?
Yeah, that's a big one.
some people work so hard, and the first thing they do is buy things to look successful. New phone, expensive clothes.
I know. And sometimes it feels good for a moment, right? But a rich mindset thinks differently. They don't chase things that shine. They build things that last.
Right? Poor mindset says, I deserve this now. Rich mindset says, let me build something that takes care of me later.
It's like the difference between planting a tree and buying fake flowers. Fake ones look nice, but they never grow.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. The rich mindset invests in assets, things that give back. The poor mindset invests in appearances, things that fade away.
And it's not just about money. It's time, habits, even people. Are you investing your time in things that grow you, or just things that distract you?
Right. Because a rich mindset doesn't just think rich, it builds rich habits.
That's true wealth.
I couldn't agree more. And speaking of habits, there's another huge difference we've both noticed: how people deal with fear and risk.
Oh, yes. That's one of the most powerful mindset shifts of all.
You know, it's funny. Fear is something we all feel, no matter how smart or confident we are. But the difference is what we do with that fear.
Exactly. A poor mindset lets fear make decisions. A rich mindset feels the fear, but moves anyway.
Yeah. I remember reading something powerful in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that the difference between rich and poor people is how they manage fear. It really stayed with me. I still remember the first time I thought about starting something on my own. I was terrified. What if no one listened? What if I failed?
And yet, look where we are now. The podcast exists because you didn't let that fear win.
True. And the funny thing is, once you start, the fear doesn't disappear, but it becomes smaller. You learn to carry it differently.
Yes, it becomes your teacher. You know, I used to fear making mistakes when speaking English. I'd replay every error in my head. But when I finally stopped worrying and just spoke, I started improving.
That's such a good example. People think confidence comes first, but it's actually practice that builds confidence.
That's true. The rich mindset knows that taking a step, even a small one, is always better than waiting for the perfect moment.
And that's what leads to the next big mindset difference: thinking long term.
Yes, the poor mindset wants quick wins. They want success now. But the rich mindset plays the long game. They're patient.
Right. They understand that real growth takes time. It's like building a house. You can't move in after laying just one brick.
Or learning a language. You don't become fluent in a week. It's the small, daily practice that builds the big result.
You know, people with a poor mindset often think, it's not working, when the truth is, they just haven't waited long enough.
I always tell my students, the result is already growing. You just can't see it yet.
That's so true, because a rich mindset doesn't quit in silence. It grows in silence.
Beautifully said. And that ties into another huge difference: taking responsibility.
Ah, yes. That one separates dreamers from doers.
People with a poor mindset often say, "It's not my fault," or "Life is unfair." But people with a rich mindset ask, "What can I do differently next time?"
Exactly. It's not about blaming the world. It's about owning your choices.
I remember one time I missed a big opportunity because I didn't prepare well enough. My first reaction was to blame the timing, the situation, everything but myself.
Been there. It's a natural reaction.
Yeah, but later I realized the only thing I could control was me. And that realization changed everything.
That's the shift. The poor mindset waits for luck. The rich mindset creates it by taking responsibility, not making excuses.
And it's powerful because once you take ownership, you also take back your power.
That's when everything shifts. You stop waiting for things to change, and you start becoming the change.
That's such a rich mindset thing to say.
It is, isn't it? And, Erin, the last thing that really separates a rich mindset from a poor one, it's not just about growth or effort or risk. It's about what you do after you grow.
Right. The poor mindset keeps asking, "What can I get?" But the rich mindset asks, "What can I give?"
Exactly. People with a rich mindset believe that the more you share, the more you grow. They don't fear competition. They focus on contribution.
It's such a freeing mindset. You stop comparing yourself to others. Instead of thinking, "They're better than me," you start thinking, "What can I learn from them?"
Yes. And when you help others rise, you rise too. It's like lighting another candle. Your own light doesn't get smaller. The room just becomes brighter.
I love that image. It reminds me of a teacher I had when I was younger. She used to say, "The happiest people are those who use what they know to help others grow." I never forgot that.
That's beautiful. And it's true in everything. Business, friendship, learning English, even life. When you share what you know, you don't lose anything. You actually understand it better.
Yeah, because a rich mindset doesn't see others as competition. It sees them as partners in growth, people who make the journey meaningful.
That's such an important point. The poor mindset often thinks, if they win, I lose. But the rich mindset says, if they win, we all win.
And maybe that's what real wealth is. Not how much you have, but how much good you bring to others.
Well said. The rich mindset gives, teaches, and shares. Not because it's easy, but because that's how life expands.
This reminds me of the podcast itself. We started this not to compete with anyone, but to share, to help people learn English and grow in life at the same time.
I couldn't agree more. And seeing our listeners grow, that's the real reward.
It really is. And on that note, I think it's the perfect moment to bring in someone who helps our listeners grow every week, with her words, her energy, and her love for vocabulary.
You know who we're talking about. It's time for our vocabulary breakdown with Crystal.
Let's hand it over to her.
Hey, Crystal, here you go.
Thanks, Evan. Hello, everyone. It's Crystal here, and welcome to the Vocabulary Breakdown. Today's episode was full of powerful ideas, and now we'll explore some important words and phrases from today's conversation that you can start using in your own English speaking practice. We'll go through each one slowly, so you can listen carefully and practice speaking along with me. All right, let's get started. Mindset, meaning the way you think or believe about something. Example, your mindset decides how you see problems, as walls or as doors. Growth, meaning the process of becoming better, stronger, or more skilled. Example, learning a new skill is a sign of personal growth. Discomfort, meaning a feeling of being uncomfortable or not at ease. Example, discomfort means you're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's where you grow. Resilience, meaning the ability to recover or bounce back after a difficulty. Example, her resilience helped her try again after failing the first time. Risk, meaning the chance of losing something or facing danger. Example, starting something new always includes a little risk, but it's worth it. Consistency, meaning doing something regularly without giving up. Example, success doesn't come from one big action. It comes from consistency. Responsibility, meaning being in charge of your actions and choices. Example, take responsibility for your future instead of blaming others. Contribution, meaning something you give or do to help others or make something better. Example, every small contribution can make a big difference in someone's life. Opportunity, meaning a situation or chance that makes something possible. Example, a rich mindset sees every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Fulfillment, meaning a deep feeling of happiness and satisfaction when you do something meaningful. Example, helping others gave her a sense of fulfillment that money couldn't buy. Great job, everyone. Try to review these words and make one sentence with each after the episode. Now let's go back to Erin and Evan.
Thank you, Crystal. That was such a lovely breakdown. I love how those words fit perfectly with everything we shared today.
Yeah, same here. They're simple but powerful reminders that real change begins inside us.
Exactly. A rich mindset isn't about money. It's about how we think, how we grow, and how we show up in life.
And remember, every big change starts with a small step. One new thought, one new habit, one brave choice.
If this episode inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who might need this message today.
Thank you for being part of the English Leap family. We're so grateful for you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself.
Take care, everyone.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.